And just like that, we're back in South America. And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is week and country number 21 as we continue our second attempt to cook the food of every country in the world, and tonight we're up to the nation of Bolivia. Bolivia is a landlocked nation. It's very high up in the Andes. Its food is very similar to that of several of its neighbors, and we're going to give you one word: meat. So before we go any further, let's take a look and see how things went last time around. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I was rocked back on my heels when I realized exactly how much meat was going to be involved in this dinner. Somehow I managed to make it all work. I found the specific ingredients. They came out reasonably well. We're going to fix that this time. Ergo, tonight we will be cooking those same two dishes. We will be cooking salteñas, which is Bolivia's version of empanadas or little meat pies, and we'll be using two specific chili peppers in the form of a paste, ají amarillo and ají panca. That is a yellow chili pepper paste and panca chili pepper paste. Both very spicy with very different flavors. Also, we'll be using the rocoto peppers. Those are very hard to find. Fresh, at least here. We managed to find them frozen. Very, very, very spicy. So remember to seed them. Also, we will be cooking Pique Macho, which is a grab bag of meats, vegetables, and sauces, and beer on top of French fries. It's going to be complicated. Also, this does require cooking part of the dish the night before. Be warned. So, let's take a look at tonight's ingredients. First, for our salteñas, we'll need to make the aguado, or watery stew. And for that, we're going to need half a pound of top round steak, minced. You may also use ground beef. A quarter pound of marrow bones, split. Half a pound of potatoes, peeled and cut into quarter-inch cubes. Half a cup of frozen peas. About 1 cup of finely chopped onions. 1 teaspoon of ají panca, 2 teaspoons of ají amarillo, a quarter cup of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of ground cumin, a tablespoon of chopped parsley, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 cups of hot water, 1 envelope of unflavored gelatin, 2 cloves of garlic diced, and we'll also need 2 ounces of golden raisins, which will be soaked in hot water and drained, 2 ounces of pitted black olives, and 2 hard-boiled eggs. And for the masa, or dough, we'll need 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of ají amarillo, 2 more eggs, quarter cup of canola oil, which will be divided into 2 tablespoons and 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of achiote paste, and warm water. And then, for the pique macho, we will need 1 pound of beef cut into thin slices, a quarter pound of cocktail wieners, a quarter pound of chorizo cut into rounds, 2 peeled potatoes plus oil for frying, 2 Roma tomatoes roughly chopped, 2 hard-boiled eggs, 1 Bolivian or Peruvian beer, plus 2 rocoto peppers seeded and chopped, and 1/2 of an onion thinly sliced, and 1 teaspoon of cumin, salt to taste, black pepper to taste, and to dress, mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard. Well, you saw all of that. We're gonna get cooking. So flashback to the night before and go. First, heat 2 tablespoons of oil in a saucepan. Then add the onions, oregano, and parsley, and saute for 15 minutes. Then add the ají panca, the ají amarillo, the ground cumin, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, the minced beef, marrow bones, and pour in enough water to cover it. Simmer on low heat for about 45 minutes. Meanwhile, in a separate saucepan, add water and the diced potatoes and frozen peas, and boil for 20 minutes, drain and reserve. Dissolve the gelatin in a quarter cup of hot water. Remove the marrow bones from the aguado, making sure to leave the marrow behind. Add the peas and potatoes, add the water gelatin mix, remove from the heat and let it cool completely. Later, move it to an airtight container, cover, and refrigerate overnight. Heat 2 tablespoons of oil in a skillet. Add the achiote paste and fry until the oil has been colored. Strain and reserve the oil. Then, in a large bowl, mix flour, sugar, salt, black pepper, the achiote oil, eggs, the ají amarillo paste. Mix and add water 1 tablespoon at a time. Continue until you have a kneadable dough. Knead for about 5 minutes. Divide into 10 equal portions. Roll each ball into a thin circle 5 inches in diameter. Repeat until you have 10 dough circles. Remove the aguado from the fridge. Beat 1 extra egg into a bowl. Slice up hard-boiled eggs and begin to assemble the salteñas. Into each dough circle, place 1 spoonful of aguado, 1 slice of hard-boiled egg, 3 golden raisins, 1 pitted olive. Seal up the edges with warm water. Theoretically, the edges should look like braided rope. Brush with the beaten egg. Preheat the oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and repeat for the rest of the salteñas. And bake at 500 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. If they get too brown, cover it with foil. Remove the sliced potatoes from the water and dry thoroughly. Heat the oil to 320 degrees Fahrenheit and fry the potatoes in the oil for about 5 minutes. Drain on baking sheet and set aside for at least 30 minutes. Meanwhile, heat 2 tablespoons of oil in a saucepan. Add the thinly sliced beef, cook until browned, then add salt, pepper, ground cumin, chorizos, cocktail wieners, and toss together and remove to a bowl to keep warm. Then in another bowl, mix the sliced onion, rocoto peppers, diced Roma tomatoes, and add salt. Toss and taste. Add a splash of beer, toss it and set it aside. Going back to the fries, heat the oil to 370 degrees Fahrenheit and fry the potatoes for 1 to 2 minutes. Salt and keep warm. Begin to assemble the pique macho. Onto each plate, place a layer of fries, a layer of meats, a layer of salad. Add a splash of beer and dress with a stripe of ketchup, a stripe of mustard, and a stripe of mayonnaise. And add halves of the hard-boiled egg. Plate the salteñas alongside. Wipe plates and serve. Well, how did it all turn out? Well, color me shocked, but we actually loved tonight's dishes. The salteñas were super delicious. They may not have been the prettiest of the bunch. I've seen what they're supposed to look like, and they look nothing like that. My apologies to the Bolivian people. I haven't spent a whole lot of time making meat pies, but those tasted phenomenal. The complicated flavors of the different peppers with the raisins and the onions and the egg was something out of this world. It was truly one of the best empanadas I've ever made. Not that I've made that many, but they were super delicious. So I'm gonna give that one 5 out of 5 globes. Really great. If I could master the look of the whole thing, it would be even better. And we've got a whole lot of leftovers. But then there's the pique macho. I was really frightened about this. The idea of a pile of meats on top of french fries with beer poured on top seemed kind of wacky, but when you added in everything, cooked it right, and added in the mustard, mayonnaise, and ketchup and egg, it was out of this world. It had a great set of flavors. Those rocoto peppers gave it a really nice amount of heat. Really loved it. Believe it or not, the pique macho gets 5 out of 5 globes. Wow, really great dish. So, remember, if you would like to learn anything about the Global Cooking Adventure or the previous Global Cooking Challenge, check us out at Cliffieland.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to see any of our videos live when they happen every Tuesday night, feel free to follow us on Periscope or Busker. And if you have any thoughts, feelings, or helpful suggestions on the food of Bolivia or any of our future nations, feel free to sound off in the comments. Tune in next week when we try to redeem my first real attempt at baking, which was a total disaster last time, when we cook the food of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching and happy eating!